What the heck did I just watch? Okay, before I go out on this movie, I went into Zootopia 2 hoping for some fun, clever storytelling, maybe a few laughs, and came out asking myself, why does this exist? Disney, what the heck was this? Honestly, this movie deserves a solid 2 out of 10.
Damn!
And usually, I don't tell you what I'm going to give it in the beginning, but I'm going to tell you why I give it a 2 out of 10. Don't worry, there's one thing it does get right, and the only thing it gets right is that one thing. We'll talk about that later though. Now let's get it out of the way. The only things Zootopia 2 does well are the voice acting and the animation. Everyone sounds great, the animals look amazing, the world is colorful. If only that was enough to kill a movie. Spoiler alert, it isn't. Everything else painfully mediocre. Now, I'm about to get into spoilers, so leave while you can, just like I wish I left the theater during this horrible movie. But anyways, the story feels like someone read the first movie, went, yeah, let's do the same thing, but less interesting, and called it a day.
Emotional, damn it!
I didn't watch a movie. I watched a lecture on how not to make a movie. It's predictable, over-explained, and boring. There's no tension, no stakes, and almost zero moments that make you care. Instead of letting the story unfold, naturally the movie constantly pauses to tell you the obvious. I didn't watch a movie. I watched Disney's last attempt to save their company and failed.
Yeah!
Nick and Judy, still likable, because the first movie did all the work. In this one, they don't grow, change, or really do anything memorable. All they do is bicker and argue, and it's dumb reasons they argue too. I'm not even gonna get into that. Side characters are mostly filler. They pop in for a joke, then vanish. No one walks away better, deeper, or more interesting. Literally, guys, there's no good characters in this movie, I'm telling you. Like, what Disney thinking when they wrote this script?
Hello, I like money.
Basically, the movie recycles old characters without giving them anything. Remember the clever jokes in the first Zootopia? Yeah, forget them. Here, the humor is safe, forced, and rarely funny. Most of the time, I sat there thinking, am I supposed to laugh or cry? And honestly, both felt appropriate.
Oh, hell no!
Credit where it's due. The animation is gorgeous. The voice actors still bring charm and energy. But that's it. That's really the only thing saving this movie from being a 1. It deserves a 1. But the animation and voice saved it for that. Beautiful visuals plus talented actors can't fix a hollow, lazy story. My final rating is a 2 out of 10. The story was trash. The characters were boring. The humor was unfunny. Voice acting was pretty good. Animation, pretty good. If you like this, it's only because your brain tricked you into thinking putting animals equals entertainment.
Oh my god!
It doesn't. So that's my brutally honest take. Zootopia 2 is a cautionary tale of what happened when Disney forgets why the first movie was great. I don't get how this made so much money, but it's a sign that Disney has finally lost all hope making anything good anymore. Cause all they do is make remakes now. Ugh. Bob Iger. Anyways, now my friend and co-creator will tell you what she thought of Zootopia 2. So, go ahead and take it away, Lena.
The movie starts from a week later, after they arrested Bellwether and saved Zootopia. The movie starts with Nick and Judy chasing an anteater named Anthony Snootley. Then Judy goes on a quest with Gary the Snake to revive a reptile city that was taken away by the Lynx family. Zootopia 2 builds on the heart and intelligence of the original film while expanding its world in meaningful ways. Once again, Judy Hopps and Nick Wilde take center stage, this time facing challenges that test not just their detective skills, but their trust in each other and in the city they work to protect. The sequel leans more confidently into mature themes, focusing on how fear and misinformation can spread in a society that claims to be unified rather than repeating the exact message of the first movie. Yeah, I doubt that. I doubt that. Zootopia 2 explores how prejudice can evolve and hide itself in sorry, I can't say this word right. Subtler?
What did she say?
Subtler, more complicated forms. This gives the story emotional weight and makes it feel relevant rather than repetitive. The animation is richer and more detailed, with new districts that show sides of Zootopia we haven't seen before. These additions help the city feel even more alive and diverse. The humor remains sharp, mixing visual gags with clever dialogue, and Nick and Judy's chemistry continues to be one of the film's strongest points. I'm not so sure about the humor. In my opinion, the humor kind of sucked and it was boring, so I don't know what to say about that. I have to say the humor was not that great. If the original Zootopia is about recognizing bias, Zootopia 2 is about confronting it after you think you have already solved it. Overall, the sequel feels thoughtful, engaging, and worthy of the original, proving that Zootopia still has important stories left to tell. Zootopia 2 takes the hopeful ending of the first film and deliberately unsettles it, asking what happens after society claims it has asking what happens after society claims it has fixed prejudice. The story centers on Judy Hopps and Nick Wilde as established partners in the ZPD, now tasked with investigating a series of coordinated disruptions across Zootopia. These incidents initially look like random crimes, but they are soon revealed to be engineered by a coalition of influential mammals who believe predators and prey should once again be governed separately for public safety. Unlike Bellwether's overt villainy in the first film, this new agnostic force hides behind policy language committees and fear-driven statistics, making them harder to expose and more dangerous. Judy's arc is the emotional backbone of the movie. She begins confident that fairness and good intentions are enough, but she slowly realizes she's been conflict in a system that still marginalizes predators. Her breaking point comes when she defends a controversial enforcement policy, only to see it unjustly target predators. This causes a serious rift between them, with Nick calling out Judy for believing in institutions more than in lived experience. Yeah, I have to say, it's a repeat going on here. Zootopia 2 seems to have the same story all over again. Yeah, what a sequel.
Damn!
Next storyline is quieter but powerful. He becomes a public scapegoat during the crisis, and the film doesn't soften how painful it is for him to watch old stereotypes return so easily. his decision to briefly step away from the ZPD is one of the sequel's boldest moves, emphasizing that trust, once broken, is hard to rebuild. The climax doesn't end with a neat victory. The villains are exposed, but many supporters walk free, and the city remains divided. Judy apologizes, not just to Nick, but publicly for failing to listen sooner. The final scenes show reform beginning, not completed with Judy and Nick choosing to keep working together. Not completed. What? Sorry, let me reread that again. The final scenes show reform begin. The final scenes show reform beginning, not completed, with Judy and Nick choosing to keep working together despite uncertainty. Ultimately, Zootopia 2 is darker, more mature, and intentionally unresolved. It rejects the idea that prejudice can be defeated once and for all, instead portraying justice as an ongoing effort that requires humility. I don't know how to say this. I don't know how to say those words. Sorry. I don't know how to say those words. If I don't know how to say some of these words, I apologize. Humility, accountability, and discomfort. It's less comforting than the original, but arguably more honest and more impactful because of it. To be honest, I don't think this movie was impactful in any way, because in the middle of the movie, I started becoming bored and stuff. Because in the middle of the movie, I got bored, and I thought I was going to fall asleep, to be honest, but luckily I didn't. I kept watching just for the purposes video. Okay. So here are some things I have to say about it. The story was good, but the story was kind of a repeat. I didn't really enjoy it. It was nothing like the first one. But the story could have been better. Acting good, music good, animation good. So everything was good, but the story. Because the story didn't make any sense. The story is off. Like I said earlier, the story was like a total repeat of the first one. Just different characters, more unknown places we didn't know about the city, like the whole reptile city and this whole lagoon we saw in the movie. That's new, we've never seen that before, fine. But yeah, it was off to be honest. So, since it's Disney, I'm going to give it a 8 out of 10. So, I'm rating this movie a 8 out of 10. I mean, it was okay. It could have been better. If I really liked it, I would have gave a 10 out of 10, but it just wasn't there. It just didn't make it. Fortunately. We all know that Disney is doing remakes, so we know that part. So yeah, Zootopia 2 was not a good movie. I don't recommend watching it, because when you watch it, you'll see what I mean. You see how it did not make any sense. The story was a repeat. The humor wasn't that great. There were some weird moments in the movie, like there was the dummy book, like it's an actual book. There was something called Paw Tube, I don't remember. It was kind of like a reference for YouTube they created. I don't remember the reference, but it was something like, it was tube something. I don't remember. You know, there was some, like I said, there's some weird moments here and there. Like, there was a little gross scene in the movie, like when Judy and Nick had to like eat a worm in order to talk to some reptile, or talk to some lizard or something. I don't know who he was. No idea what that lizard was, but it looked like a lizard to me, so he is a lizard, so that was a little gross. Like come on, they didn't have to eat the worms. Just, why couldn't the lizard have a conversation with them about the whole reptile thing, this reptile city thing? But yeah, to be honest, I was pretty much bored in that movie, and I hope they don't make a Zootopia 3. If they make a Zootopia 3, then it's just gonna get worse from there. Like, is this probably a good stopping point? I don't know, but you know, that's Disney's decision, not mine. But really, Disney, stop making remakes. We don't need to see them anymore, because it's just not necessary. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please like and subscribe. And I hope to see you real soon. Bye for now. Peace.